Politics and economics are G-Kuminate. US stocks and FX are G-Kuminate.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We love celebrating when our deep dives really uncover something impactful. Remember Applied Digital, ticker APLD? Back in April, we dug into it. It was around $5 then.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Well, for those of you who followed that journey, APLD, get this, closed on September 11th at over $17.
Wow.
That's a remarkable 3x return. It's just a great reminder, that when we sift through the noise, sometimes we find these genuinely compelling stories. And today we're embarking on another such story, focusing our lens on Recursion Pharmaceuticals. Ticker is RXRX. It closed on September 11th at $4.85. Now, the source material we've been looking at makes, a pretty audacious claim. It suggests that RXRX's lower bound may be limited.
Interesting phrasing.
Isn't it?
Okay.
For a stock under $5, it kind of implies there might be some sort of inherent floor to its value, even when things get turbulent. So our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to meticulously explore what could possibly support that lower bound claim. We need to understand the significant risks that are, interwoven with this kind of innovation. And crucially, identify what we call the point of no return, that critical moment that will really define Recursion's future path. What makes this company tick? What could send it soaring or, cause it to stumble?
Yeah, and what's truly compelling here is that we're looking at a company with, the very real potential for a big transformation. And this is largely tied to the progress of its main drug candidate, REC 48801. However, it's absolutely vital for you, our listener, to recognize the current situation. Right now, Recursion Pharmaceuticals is navigating, let's call it a high operational and clinical risk phase. They are operating with ongoing deficits. They're experiencing significant cash burn, which is pretty typical of early stage biotech, sure. And their lead candidates, still in early to mid stage trials. This means a binary outcome is, it's very much on the table. This really frames your central dilemma. Are you looking maybe for a short-term entry, hoping to catch an early wave, or does a more patient, long-term monitoring strategy fit better with how you approach risk? Getting a handle on these dynamics is, it's paramount.
High operational and clinical risk.
Yeah.
It's a sharp way to put it. It really explains why a company with this big transformation potential might still be trading down here.
Yeah.
So let's dig into this then. Why is the market, despite all the innovative talk, the promise of AI drug discovery, why is it currently so cool on RXRX? What are the fundamental things keeping a lid on the price right now?
That really is the core question, isn't it? And there are, I'd say, primarily 4 intertwined reasons for the stock's sluggish performance. They all speak to the inherent nature of a pioneering biotech at this particular stage. First, and probably the most impactful, is the high cash burn. Recursion Pharmaceuticals is fundamentally, it's a research and development powerhouse. They're building this AI-driven drug discovery platform. They're running complex biological experiments at scale, pushing multiple drug candidates through trial.
Yeah, that sounds expensive.
It's incredibly capital intensive. We're talking substantial quarterly losses here. They are quite literally burning cash to grow. They're investing heavily in the future, but that comes with a hefty price tag right now. So for investors looking for near-term profitability or even just break even, these ongoing deficits are a major deterrent. It's common in early-stage biotech, sure, but it doesn't make it easier for the market to stomach. Secondly, we face clinical uncertainty. This is huge. The company's most promising drug candidates, including REC 4081, they're still very much in the early to mid stages of clinical trials.
Right.
And this phase is just inherently unpredictable. While early data can look really encouraging, as we'll get into, the journey through phase 2 and phase 3 trials is long, it's fraught with potential setbacks. It's actually not uncommon for promising early results to get diluted or even completely overturned in larger studies. The regulatory path to getting a drug approved is arduous, often takes a decade or more. That uncertainty hangs heavy over any biotech valuation.
So even good early signs aren't a guarantee.
Not at all. Then there's the strategic impact of M&A and integration costs. Recursion has been pretty active, acquiring technology and other companies to, bolster its AI platform and expand its pipeline. Now, while these mergers and acquisitions are strategically smart in the long term, think expanding AI capabilities, broadening their discovery platform, they definitely come with significant short-term financial burdens. We're talking things like goodwill impairment. That's an accounting term, basically meaning the value of intangible stuff they bought, like tech or brand reputation, might be lower than what they paid. It's a write-down, hits the earnings.
Okay, so it looks bad on paper, short term, even if it's good long term.
Exactly. That, plus the costs of actually integrating new teams, tech, cultures, it all suppresses reported earnings right now. And finally, there's a broader industry skepticism towards AI drug discovery itself. The concept, groundbreaking, no doubt, captured investor imagination. But the market's kind of matured beyond just the hype. It's now demanding tangible results, actual drug approvals, successful commercialization. There have been several AI drug discovery companies that, initially generated excitement, but haven't quite delivered yet on bringing new drugs to market efficiently.
So the whole sector is under scrutiny.
Yeah, precisely. It's led to a kind of recalibration of market expectations for the whole sector. RxRx, being a prominent player, naturally feels the pressure of this general sentiment. It's become a show me, don't just tell me environment. So putting it all together, while the long-term hopes for Recursion are definitely high because of its innovative platform, the sheer speed of cash outflow and that ever-present clinical risk, those are the two main headwinds really impeding its growth right now. It's a classic innovator's paradox.
That paints a very clear picture of why the market might be hesitant, balancing that huge potential against very real present-day financial realities. So if the market's caution comes from these factors, what do the hard numbers actually tell us about Recursion's ability to, navigate them? You, our listener, are probably wondering, does this company have the financial staying power to get through these cash-burning years?
Absolutely. Looking at the financials is non-negotiable here. Let's see what the balance sheet specifically tells us. First up, their cash and equivalents. Recursion Pharmaceuticals currently holds about $533.8 million in cash and equivalents.
Okay, $500 million.
Yeah, it's a substantial war chest for a biotech in its R&D phase. Think of it as their ammunition for ongoing research development. It provides a significant buffer to keep operations going without immediate distress. Suggests they're not, running on fumes. Next, their total debt. This stands around $383.2 million. Now, when you put that against their cash reserves...
Seems manageable.
It does, yeah. This level of debt looks largely manageable. The company has enough liquid assets to cover a big chunk of its liabilities. That's a good sign for immediate solvency, often better than some highly leveraged peers. However, we absolutely have to talk about the accumulated deficit. It's swelled to approximately $1.8 billion.
Wow, that's a big number.
It's a formidable figure. Now, it is common for biotechs deep in R&D. It reflects years of heavy investment without revenue yet. But undeniably, it represents past losses and can be a, let's say, significant psychological burden for investors. It signals a long uphill battle to reach profitability and erase those historical losses. And finally, let's touch on their runway. Basically, how long their current cash can keep things going. The company itself estimates that, based on current plans, they have at least 12 months to several years of funding secured.
That's quite a range.
It is. It provides some confidence, but it's important to note that estimate is based on current plans. If they expand clinical trials or pursue more big acquisitions, their spending could jump dramatically. That could shorten the runway, require more funding sooner than they think.
Right. Plans can change.
Exactly. So connecting these numbers to your understanding of risk. While the short-term bankruptcy risk for Recursion seems relatively low given that cash position, it isn't a free pass. Any delays in drug approval, any expansion of clinical trials needing more investment, that could significantly increase the risk of dilution or additional fundraising.
Dilution meaning they issue more stock.
Correct. Issuing more shares to raise capital, which spreads the company's value across more shares, potentially reducing the value of existing holdings. It's a critical factor for any investment decision, impacting your slice of the pie.
Okay, that clarifies the financial tightrope they're on. They've got ammunition, yes, but it's finite. Future success is what really stretches that runway. Which brings us squarely to the absolute core of this discussion, REC 4881. Our sources are calling it the make-or-break candidate, the biggest factor driving RxRx's future. Sounds like the key to unlocking that big transformation.
So what makes REC 4881 such a potential game changer? Why is it drawing so much attention? You're absolutely right. REC 4881 is, it feels like the single most important factor here. Its progress could fundamentally change the company's valuation, its whole trajectory. Let's start with the key data we already have. The phase 1b/2, that's the Tupelo trial, the interim analysis, specifically for patients with familial adenomatous polyposis, or FAP, it revealed some genuinely exciting early results. It showed a median reduction of about 43% in polyp burden at week 13.
43% reduction, okay? Why is that such a big deal?
Well, this signal is generating significant excitement because polyps are often precursors to colorectal cancer, especially in conditions like FAP. So reducing them by that much in a fairly short time suggests the drug is hitting the disease at a foundational level. It could potentially improve patient outcomes, reduce cancer risk. It's a strong sign the drug is biologically active, doing something meaningful.
Got it. A direct impact on the disease markers.
Precisely. And beyond the promising data, REC 4881 also benefits from some pretty substantial regulatory advantages. The FDA granted it both Fast Track and Orphan Drug designations. Plus, it got an orphan designation in Europe, too.
What do those actually mean in practice?
They're not just titles, they're significant accelerants. Fast Track helps speed up development and review for drugs addressing serious conditions with unmet needs, could mean earlier approval. Orphan drug status gives incentives like market exclusivity for a while after approval. Tax credits basically encourages development for rare diseases. Together, these could potentially shorten REC 4881's path to market compared to a typical drug, saving years and a lot of capital.
Okay, so faster track, potential exclusivity, that's valuable. What about the timeline? When might we see more?
Right, the projected timeline. The company's laid out an estimate, which, we need to approach with cautious optimism. They expect additional data from REC 4881 in the second half of 2025, call it 2H25. In a best-case scenario, if that data holds up, looks robust, this could lead to prepping applications in 2026, maybe approval around 2027.
2027. Still a ways off.
It is, and this is a crucial caveat. The company itself acknowledges this timeline is optimistic and that delays are highly possible. In biotech, unexpected setbacks are almost expected. Enrollment issues, manufacturing delays, safety signals, tempering expectations is always wise. So, bringing this back to our mission, that point of no return, the next data release for REC 4881 in 2H25, that truly represents the biggest make or break point for Recursion. If those results continue to show strong efficacy, good safety, you could see a dramatic re-rating of the company. This event could profoundly alter the valuation, the trajectory, aligning perfectly with that big transformation potential we talked about right at the start.
But the flip side?
The flip side, any disappointment there would significantly challenge the company's independent future. It really raises the stakes.
Yeah, that really is the crux of it then. The next chapter for REC 4881, it sounds like right now for Recursion Pharmaceuticals, we're very much in the movie preview stage. We've seen a really exciting trailer, those promising initial results for REC 4881, hinting at a potential blockbuster. But the true story, the full feature film drug approval, consistent revenue that's still yet to unfold. And while we wait for the main event, like you said, the funds keep burning, that keeps the pressure firmly on.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture of biotech investing, it often really does boil down to a very binary outcome. If REC 4881 proves to be a hit when that 2H25 data comes out, if it keeps showing strong efficacy, good safety, confirms those early signals, then you could absolutely see a dramatic stock change. Significant upside, validating the whole AI platform idea. However, if that additional data fails to meet market expectations, or maybe there are unexpected safety issues, then you'd likely see a swift sell-off as the market just completely reevaluates the company's prospects. It's high stakes, inherent to pioneering biotech. This also highlights that point of no return we mentioned. The outcome of that 2H25 data, combined with their financial runway, will fundamentally determine Recursion's path forward.
It really is binary, isn't it? So that brings us to the ultimate question for you, our listener, after taking this deep dive with us. Given the exciting potential of REC 4881, balanced against the current cash burn and those clinical uncertainties, will you consider jumping in now, maybe trying to catch that early wave? Or will you wait for the upcoming main feature, hold off for more definitive data to guide your decision come 2H25? Ultimately, the path you choose is, of course, a personal one. But one thing seems certain: Recursion Pharmaceuticals, with its bold AI-driven vision and that absolutely critical drug candidate, is undeniably a company worth keeping a very close eye on. And just a reminder, this deep dive is for educational purposes only. Investing involves inherent risks, and you should always conduct your own thorough research and due diligence before making any investment decision.